The U.S. is on track to deliver 110 million COVID-19 vaccine doses to more than 50 countries from Afghanistan to Zambia, two officials told NPR, a milestone that President Biden is expected to formally announce at the White House Tuesday. But these initial U.S.-donated doses are just a first step for the projected 11 billion vaccines needed to vaccinate 70% of the world's population and bring the pandemic under control, according to the World Health Organization. And providing doses to other countries is a quasi-Herculean task. Sharing vaccine doses isn't quite as easy as just putting them on a plane and calling somebody at the other end and telling them when they'll arrive, says Gail Smith, the Global COVID Response Coordinator at the State Department. There have been some delays. Biden first announced that the U.S. would distribute 80 million doses to countries in need by the end of June, only to later say the goal had simply been to allocate them by the end of June. Legal and regulatory hurdles loom for such sophisticated medical goods, Smith explains, both for the U.S. to export them and for countries to receive them. And it's an urgent matter. Doses must be distributed before their expiration date, with cold chains set up to keep them from spoiling. Solutions have to be devised country by country, sometimes with elaborate legal agreements. On this global stage, the Biden administration can't call all the shots. In some countries it's actually required to take new laws to their parliaments so they can accept these vaccines, so it's a complicated logistical exercise, but I think we've shown it's entirely doable, Smith said in an interview with NPR. These first 100 million deliveries reflect Biden's effort to establish the U.S. as the world's arsenal of vaccines, and are essentially a warm-up for the hundreds of millions of shots that the U.S. has pledged to deliver later this year and next year. The number of doses delivered so far puts the U.S. ahead of every other country making donations, but the pace of the shipments is much slower than it should be, says Dr. Krishna Udayakumar, founding director of the Duke Global Health Innovation Center. When the world needs 10 billion doses to get to where we need to go, it puts that in context, he said. We're 100 times off where we need to be. And certain parts of the world are severely lacking in vaccines. The breakdown of distribution at this point illustrates how far many countries are from any meaningful level of protection. Worldwide, fewer than 1% of vaccines have gone to people in low-income countries, while more than 80% have been given to people in high and upper-middle-income countries. As the highly contagious Delta variant surges, global health experts are calling for a bigger investment in the pandemic response.